Hello everyone. So it's been a while since I made a video. So a lot has happened in my life. I've had some ups and downs. I'm currently no longer working. I still have the job. I just took a little break for some certain reasons, as well as I've gotten married and I've gained some weight. Hello. So here is what I'm here for. I have realized that the mantras that I used to speak that had once disappeared are back. Just like I tell everybody, and it's in my book, I have a name for Satan, the devil, the wicked one, whatever you want to call him. You can call him a loser. I do that often. So I call him yesterday because why? Because he goes into the past and he either he tells you things that are no longer serving you, that you've gotten rid of. He tries to bring them back to the surface and tell you that they are your identity. Or B, he will do like he did the Israelites when they were free in the wilderness. He glamorized the past because he is yesterday, he lives in the past, and made them feel as if the place that they left, the slavery and the bondage, was better than what they presently had. So his job is to make you not see the beautiful, wonderful things that God is doing in your life by making it seem as if yesterday was better than today. And we all know that today is what? Called the present, which is a gift. And that is his job. So we're going to refer to the devil as yesterday, and we are going to get back on the subject of mantras. So I had went through a life-changing weight loss. In my younger years, I went up and down in my weight, and my heaviest was when I weighed 220 pounds. I had went to the doctor, and they told me that I had type 2 diabetes, fatty liver, high blood pressure, and that this was going to be something that I would be on medication for the rest of my life for the high blood pressure and the diabetes. And when the doctor told me to remove my shoe so she could stick it with a needle to see if I had sensation, that was my wake up moment. So I decided that it was a matter of life and death. And it's really funny how when someone gives you a diagnosis, sometimes it takes that diagnosis where someone looks at you and says, you're going to die if you continue, that you decide to say, hey, I got to do something. And I know not everybody gets that diagnosis and actually does something. I feel sorry for them and I pray for them. But for me, when this doctor told me to take off my shoe and she started poking my toes and my feet, I was like, hell no, this is not my story. Got me messed up. And I went on a weight loss journey, and I got down to 148 pounds, which I thought I was too skinny. So I had went up to 163 pounds, and I stayed that way for 2 years. I was happy there. I was comfortable. I was a size 8 in pants. I wore a size small, medium in shirts. I was even shopping in the kids department for a lot of things, and I was happy. Okay, moving forward, I did not have a very close relationship to some of my family members. And I'm not putting them down in no way, shape, or form. I have tremendous love for them, respect for them, and I pray for them daily. But these people started basically telling me that, once you're fat, you'll go fat again. You're already gaining weight. I mean, it was even my grandson, he's only 12, had told my daughter that, I think that, Mamaw, that's what they call me. I know that's a country word, but I don't know. I just let him do it. He said, Mamaw has gained weight. She's starting to gain weight. I hope she doesn't get fat again. So all this conversation started taking root in my life. And I got to where every time I got out of the shower, because for the longest I got on the scale every day. I don't know why, but I got on the scale every day. I weighed the same, 163, 163. Sometimes it'd go down to 160. It may go up to 164, but I really was steady at 163, and I was contented this way. But I started allowing this fear to seep into my soul, and I started catching myself looking in the mirror mirror and saying, Kim, you're going to get fat again. Better watch what you eat. You better do this. And I started living in fear. And before you know it, I started getting a pooch. Okay, so then I started looking at the pooch and I'm like, well, my waist is still small, but I've got this pooch. And then I had that background noise, that evil, wicked spirit named yesterday, the devil, in my ear saying, well, it's just a matter of time before you get that round belly again. You're not going to be able to maintain this. You're going to start gaining weight. Your clothes are already fitting tighter. And so these mantras on a daily basis started creating reality. At first I was denying it and thinking, you're crazy. I'll never be that person. Before you know it, I started hearing it so much that I started looking in the mirror. And then especially when I got married, people were like, oh, be careful. You get married, you get comfortable, you're going to gain weight. Before I knew it, guess what happened? I've gained 20 pounds, maybe more. I haven't been on the scale, but last time I got on the scale was 171. And I probably don't know what I'm up to now, but I'm not going to say that because that mantra is not going to exist. So I started noticing that I started accepting that I have a food addiction, a sugar addiction. I'm going to go back to the way I was. And my clothes are getting tighter. And I even started shopping and picking out clothes that were my old size. I mean, I'd go in the store and I remember picking up, I used to always shop in the small medium. And I started noticing that I would be picking up a large shirt. Then it went from a large to an extra large. I even bought a hoodie that was a 2XL. Now, in my mind, I was thinking, yeah, Kim, it's going to be big as a dress. But now when I put it on, it fits me comfortably. And I'm thinking, and the clothes that used to fit me comfortably are uncomfortable. My panties have gotten tighter. And I've started to shop bigger sizes. So I'm accepting this mantra, this seed. So what made me get a wake-up call is I was listening to a guy and he started talking about this. He started talking about how you only need 3 days to speak a different language to yourself. And he said, it's really funny because I just had a conversation with my daughter about how our cells are constantly regenerating. And we give our cells the blueprint on how to function. So these cells are constantly being reproduced and they are waiting for instruction. So if we're constantly telling these new cells that I'm an alcoholic, I've got mental illness, I suffer from diabetes, my family has cancer. So it's almost like when you meet somebody and they're a stranger and all of a sudden you give them everything, your whole life history, and now they know you like they've been in your whole life because you've actually told them everything about you, and you've given them the down low. Well, guess what? Now you've given these cells the down low. They're like, oh, okay, so cancer runs in this person's family, so we've got to show up as that. Mental illness, alcohol addiction, food addiction, sugar addiction. You notice how some people can just eat whatever they want and never gain pounds, and then some people can just, their mantra is, oh, I could just walk into a restaurant and breathe, and just smelling the pizza causes me to gain weight, and they actually are fat. And then you got people who are stick thin and they can eat candy all day, they could eat cake all day, and they are skinny, and people tell them their mantra is, boy, you're skinny, you can eat everything, you're just a stick figure. So they get raised with those mantras. And like I said, this guy I was listening to, he was talking about how in 3 days you could give yourself new mantras. And you don't tell yourself that you're rich or you're skinny. Like, you could do that, but 9 times out of 10, your subconscious mind is going to reject it. And that's true. But he said, if you say, I'm on my way, then that means that there's a destination that you're heading towards. And so what happens is your subconscious mind is willing to take a trip with you, a journey. Just like I took a journey from being healthy and being 148 pounds to now being 20 pounds overweight. I did that I didn't just wake up overnight. It was a journey, a walk. I traveled, and everything that I believed was down for this journey to eventually, I am at the point where now I've got to work myself back the way I came and start changing what I'm saying to myself. Only say positive things like, I'm on my way to being healthy. I'm on my way to my perfect weight. I'm on my way to prosperity and abundance. I'm on my way to a successful career. I'm on my way to finishing writing my book, because my subconscious mind will be down for it and my cells are willing to accept this blueprint. And so that's what he was saying. And it was funny how he said 3 days, because 3 is very significant. It's a very significant number. It's the Trinity. But what is most profound is that Jesus died on the cross, and in 3 days he came back new, and he resurrected. And the reason why I use the Bible for everything is because all these things that these authors and these speakers use originally comes from the Word of God. Why? Because God is the original author of the Word. He's the one who spoke the world into existence. He's the one that spoke life. And that's the reason why Jesus says that we need to be careful in the words that we speak, and do not speak of former things, which is yesterday. Because unless that former thing is what is giving you life, you don't need to speak of it. Don't allow the devil to trick you into believing that yesterday was better, or that yesterday is your truth. If you've ever been heavy, that you'll always have a struggle and wait with that. Because my mother was built really well. Even at her heaviest, she always had a small waist, and she had the nice hips and the butt, which I'm not going to use that. I'm going to say that mantra because I used to have one and I don't have it no more, but I'm going to get it back because that's my mantra. And my grandmother, even though she wore dust dresses so you couldn't really see her figure, she actually had a curvy hourglass figure as well. Actually, that's what runs in my family, is we had the Marilyn Monroe shape. We've had the small waist, nice bust, and bigger hips and thighs with a nice butt. So we had that ideal shape that people get surgery today to have. As well as my grandfather, I never remember him ever having a gut. He was always an athletic built guy. And my birth father is 6'5" and slender. So if anything, if we're going to speak about scientific DNA, then my family genetics should not even suffer from any of that struggle. But what happened is my mother told me about when she was younger, how she was fat, and everybody called her Janice. And when she got older and she got skinny, she went by Janet. And my mother actually was a person who was fanatic about dieting. And so I got that mantra. And then also my stepfather didn't realize what he was doing, but as I was a kid growing up, he'd always sing a song about Pudgy Wudgy was a bear. And I know the word pudgy means chunky. So at the age of 13, although I had a perfectly normal childhood, I was athletic. About 13, even though I was still roller skating, I was riding bikes every day, I was doing all these things, I started to pack on the weight. And I started doing this thing called yo-yo dieting. I'd be skinny and fat. And matter of fact, I can go through my albums and I see my ups and my downs. And so that became a mantra. And it's trying to replay itself today, because I went through all this weight journey. I'm no longer a type 2 diabetic, and I'm no longer fatty liver. And I'm thinking to myself, and so the enemy yesterday is always saying, you can get diabetes again, because I've even had people that I've told them, I'm no longer diabetic. They'll say, oh, really? So, and then I've accidentally stumbled upon videos where people say, you lost weight, you're no longer diabetic, but guess what? It's going to come back. And so I need to be careful and not believe those lies, because see, the enemy will use anyone he can to get you back off track and get you back in the wilderness and keep you there. He will use your family, your friends, your lover, your husband, the closest people to you. And I've actually sabotaged my children with these mantras. And now they mentally are in a place that they too have struggles with weight gain. And I blame it. It's my fault. And I'm trying to right now retrain my thinking so that they could hopefully feed off of this and feed off the overflow, so they too could realize that the reason why they're where they're at is not because it's genetics, rather it's what their programming is. And they need to reprogram their thoughts, their words, what they hear, what they see into being something of health. Now, I say that we should exercise. That's a definite. We should be careful about what we eat, but we need to know that just because one person can eat cake every day and never gain a pound, we shouldn't think that we eat cake every day, we're going to be fat as heck, because that's not true. We need to make ourselves believe that it's not food that makes us fat, that we are healthy, that we have prosperity, that we have abundance. The mantra that my father gave me was that you have to be a workhorse and you got to work hard to have anything. I'm trying to retrain myself, and it's been very hard because I'm not used to not doing anything. I am a workhorse, and I need to stop that and say, no, I'm not the workhorse. Things come to me easily. Abundance is mine for the taking because I am part of the covenant of Abraham, and what was Abraham's is mine. It's a gift of God, and you don't work for a gift. It's a gift. When you don't get up every day and work hard every day to get a birthday gift. You don't work hard and do certain things to get Christmas. We just expect it. So we need to expect that abundance is our birthright. Health is our birthright. Prosperity is our birthright. It's not something that is supposed to be hard. It is a birthright. And I'm just telling you guys, we need to affirm these things. We need to be careful. And God told me a long time ago, silence is the word for the season. And it's not that he doesn't want me to talk. It means that if I have a problem or a complaint, I need to take it to him. Not take it to my neighbor, my brother, my sister, my cousin. Because even though they might mean well, they will give us advice 9 times out of 10 that is not going to serve us at all. And actually what they might do is confirm what we're saying. So now we've got multiple people watering these weeds that we're trying to get rid of. Okay? Let's water the garden of the flowers of heaven. Water the abundance that is our birthright. And I'm going to go on a fast, and I'm going to try it for 3 days. My daughter told me today, she said, Mom, maybe you need to try fasting. So I know that God used her to give me that message, and I agree. She said, fast before you start making these changes in your life. And I am going to do that. And I challenge you to also do that. Let's start speaking life into ourselves. Give a life-giving water to ourselves, because Jesus taught us that. Let's not allow yesterday to tell us that we are this thing that does not serve us, because it's a lie and a curse. And this is the season for breaking these generational curses, okay? Amen? All right, guys, I'm going to cut this video off, and I'm going to post it. I didn't want to make it too long because I don't want people to get distracted and bored, because we are living in a time of distraction. And I'm praying that the Lord will move in and remove distractions from us so that we can have time to really cultivate what we really want and remove what we don't want. Okay, guys? God bless. Your prayers are my prayers, and I hope my prayers are yours. Amen? God bless. Have a good day.